podcast. Alright, if I've done everything right, that's a big if. Are things showing up? And they are good. We can see some things. Looks fine. Great. Let's start then. Hello and welcome to another edition of the Monkey Tail podcast. I am your host, Bruno Pinto, and with me as ever, I have my friend slash co-host, Mr. Marius Dunkley. How are you doing, sir?
I am good, thank you.
I have to report that today he got everything on first time. This is the first time since we've been doing a remote podcast. It's the first time he logged in and everything was working straight away, which is mighty impressive. Very good. Well, anyway, we're gonna start as always with a opening question, and friend of the show Craig sent in a question for us. He said a few podcasts back you were asked what games start badly or slowly but then turn into something great. If you remember that question. I don't remember what answer I gave, but you remember the question, right? His question is the opposite then. What game started amazingly, grabbed you from the word go, and then fizzled out as the game went on? And he goes on to say that for him, Watch Dogs is the worst culprit of this. It was loving it to start, felt fresh and new, but as the game started to progress, it got a bit tricky quickly, and he didn't want to keep playing it. He didn't want to finish the game, and just wanted to uninstall the game as fast as possible. What's yours?
I mean, in a sense, actually, I agree with Craig. Watchdog is a culprit of that. It did start off quite well, but then just got boring very quickly. But seeing as I've played it recently, and it's the only thing I can remember, the only example I can remember, I am going to say Shadow of the Tomb Raider. As I mentioned last time, like that first, the opening section where there's the whole tsunami bit was amazing. I thought that was brilliant. It was by far the best bit of the whole game. And that was it right at the beginning of the game. And after that, there was nothing that came even, whilst I enjoyed the rest of the game, there was nothing that even came close to that opening segment.
I think there's quite a lot of games that fit into this category, but I think it's by design. I think game designers now try to front load their games so that you play and you keep you interested, and you recommend it to other people to buy it, but they don't worry so much about the ending. Not every game, of course, because it's quite rare for somebody to actually finish games. I think it's only a small percentage of people actually complete games.
I think it's about 30%, something like that.
That's right. So why put the big explosions and big set pieces at the end when most people only play the first 50% of the game anyway? There's exceptions to this, of course, but yes, Tomb Raider, not the first one. I think the first one ended really strongly, but the second and third, I think, fizzled out a bit towards the end. Certainly Mass Effect, not the second one. Mass Effect, the second one actually ends in the crescendo, but I think Mass Effect 3 is great. I mean, doing all the side all the side missions with your crew and etc. And then towards the end, I thought it got a bit boring. The Mass Effect 3 anyway as well. But then there's games that keep you interested to the end. For me, Dark Souls and stuff like that, I think it gets better and better, and certain games like that where the challenge keeps ramping up and the game gets harder and harder. I mean, one that gets harder and harder as well is the one you like, the Cup Boy or Cup. Is it Cup Boy? No, it's not Cup Boy. You know what I'm on about.
Oh yeah, I know what you're on about. Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Go on.
Yeah,
Cuphead,
close enough. Yeah, that one keeps getting fun and fun as well. From what I played, but harder and harder as well. Unfortunately, I think but I think it's typical for AAA games to front load their stuff. Exceptions, of course, like I said, The Witcher, for instance, is strong throughout. But the Tomb Raider recently is one of the ones that I can definitely comes to mind more as well. Right, okay, so that was the opening question. Hope that answers your question there, Craig, and thank you very much for sending it in. And he also suggested something for the Why Don't You, so I'll make sure to remind me to suggest that when we get to that part of the show, which is at the end.
You can't rely on me to remember things.
I'll try and rely on myself. I'll try and rely on myself to remember this then. All right, okay, let's move on to the next part of the show, we like to call this section "That Looks Interesting," which is basically the news. What bit of video game news looks interesting to us? And that's quite a bit of news to talk about. We're going to touch on the Xbox and PS5 prices and all of that. I have a lot to say about that, but I want to start with a sad but happy news. Michael Ansel has retired from video games. He obviously was most recently working on Beyond Good and Evil 2, but according to Ubisoft, he actually hasn't been in the project for a long time. Even though it was announced, I think in 2017, the big CG, and it looks like they're actually ramping up to production now. So I think it took them like 3 years to get the everything, because it was only tech demos they were doing, and where they wanted to go with it. And Michael Ansel was obviously heavily involved in that, but now he's obviously retired, and they're actually hiring a team now. I think they're going into full production now of the game. They probably know exactly where they want to go with it. And I'm still excited for it, but I think it's what I say. It's happy, but bad news. Obviously, bad news because we're losing a great. But I think if you're gonna retire, I don't think he's made a bad game per se. I think it's just hit after hit after hit, and then he retired. I think his last game proper was Rayman Legends, which I think you like a lot, don't you?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely love it.
Before that, he made. I mean, I don't think he made a bad Rayman game. I mean, there might be ones which are better than others, but
yeah, I mean, I didn't like the older ones, to be honest. But
I quite like the old. I prefer the 2D ones, but I quite like the old one as well. Because Beyond Good and Evil is great, and what's the one with the it's rabbits or something?
rabbits, yeah,
rabbit, yeah,
raving rabbits, isn't it?
I think that one is good as well. So yeah, so I'm trying to find out here why he's going to work on the wildlife center.
He's gonna look after furry animals or something, isn't he?
Yeah, and that's what he wants to do. And I think he's been in the industry for 30 years. He's gave us some memorable games. For me, the key one is Beyond Good and Evil. I think that game it was a smash hit. Unfortunately, it wasn't a massive success in sales when it came out, even though it was I think maybe because it came out on the GameCube maybe, and then afterwards it came out on the other consoles. But it's a great game, and it looks like we're still going to get Beyond Good and Evil 2 with his vision behind as well. So I think it's great news. But I do have a question to follow up with this. Yeah, what video game authors or creators should have retired already? Because is there anyone that's ruining their reputation? Because see, I'm thinking, what's the BioShock creator's name?
Ken Levine.
Ken Levine. I mean, he hasn't ruined his reputation yet, but that type of stuff. Or the one, the Double Fine guy. I'm forgetting all the names today, but you know all the names. Tim Schafer. Yeah, Tim Schafer. Bloody hell, I got it as well. So I mean, Tim Schafer hasn't ruined his reputation yet, but is there a time for? I mean, and obviously the clear one is Hideo Kojima. Should Hideo Kojima just retire? I don't think so. Probably. But probably he probably should. He probably should. He probably just should go and work on a wildlife center.
To be fair, I don't think he's in any danger of ruining his reputation, but I reckon Shigeru Miyamoto probably needs a holiday at the very least. He's been doing this for a long time now. I reckon he could probably do with a break.
Absolutely. But you say that his last game was his last game. Well, his last two games: Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey.
Yeah, but he didn't really. He wasn't.
I think
he's not really a game designer anymore, is he?
I know, but he was heavily involved in this, in the certainly on Breath of the Wild. He was, I think, less so on Mario, but it was he had a his fingers in lots of pies. So, but yes, maybe he needs a break. You're right. Maybe
he's more like an executive producer, though, isn't he? Like on a movie, he's there in name more than action. I think he just ticks a box to say, yeah, that's okay. It's Miyamoto approved. He doesn't really do the work anymore. I don't think.
But to be fair, that Miyamoto approval, I think a lot of companies would love to have a Miyamoto. They're going like, no, that is not a good. Do that again, or you know, like I guess I see it most like a Michelin star chef, right? So a Michelin star chef makes his name by working in kitchens and getting and making his name, and then by the time they become a Michelin star award chef, the only thing they're doing is they create the menu, of course, but they're only on the pass. Everyone else is cooking the dishes, and they go like, nope, do this again, nope, the temperature is wrong here, this looks wrong. So they're only on the pass. They're not really doing any of the hard work. So maybe we look at people like Miyamoto as the Michelin star chefs, you know, like they're just on the pass, making sure that nothing passes that doesn't meet that quality, and that's not a bad thing to have, to be fair. That's not a bad thing to have. Right, okay, so that was Michael Ancel, and I hope he just retires now. I hope he doesn't come back. I hope he just enjoys himself and just on his new job, and just has a nice, happy retirement. I wish I could retire. What old is he? Like 50 something? I wish I could retire at that.
Something like that. He's not very old, is he?
No, I wish I could retire at that age myself. That would be awesome. Right, let me just try to get my notes here up and running. I lost them for a second. Right, can we...
Why don't we carry on with Ubisoft?
Yes,
seeing as
absolutely.
He's Ubisoft.
Yes.
So yeah, there was another Ubisoft forward, which I wish they'd just stop. The Ubisoft forward things, they are shit. They're absolutely crap. Yeah. I can't stand them. These horrible, stupid people trying to talk and make it exciting in between. There's just loads of talky bollocks. I wish they'd just go and do it like Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft. Just show me the games and tell me when they're out, please.
Yeah.
So the actual thing I don't like. I skip through a lot of it because it just annoys me. But first one that I'm sure you'll be excited in is the Prince of Persia: Sands of Time remake.
I am excited about that. I like a good remake, but we talked about this every time. But there's remakes and remakes, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's Resident Evil 2 remakes, which is like yes please, and then there's slap some higher refresh rate and slightly higher resolution, and it's basically the same game with all the bugs that was there before, etc. So
I don't know about all the bugs, but it certainly does look more like option 2 than option 1, to be honest. Yeah. I'm not as the idea of it is exciting, but when I've actually seen the trailer, I'm not as excited as I could be. And I'm not sure if I need to do that again or not, but I'm sort of tempted just to get it anyway, in the hope that if enough people buy it, then it will result in a proper new Prince of Persia.
Absolutely, and that's why I'm gonna buy that game. I don't know if I'm gonna play loads of it, but that's exactly why I want to support the developer in this case, so they can do another Prince of Persia. The last one was it the cell shaded Prince of Persia? Was that the last one they've done? Proper? And that was great, by the way. That was a great game.
Yeah, it was all right. Yeah.
Not as good as
calling it great is a stretch, but it was a good game.
I really enjoyed it. I mean, okay, fine. I'll take the great off. I thought it was a good game. I think I'll put the great onto Sons of Time then. Is that okay?
Yes.
Yeah, Sons of Time sometimes was really great, and that was the first one with the rewind mechanic. That was awesome. The rewind mechanic.
It was good.
I really like that. So, what else? Anything else caught your eye?
They showed more, or they renamed Gods and Monsters to Immortals: Phoenix Rising. Which is a silly name. And after having watched the trailer of it, I'm wondering whether they were considering calling it Breath of the Gods or God of Zelda at some point.
Yeah,
because that's what that game is.
Yeah.
Although having said that, it does look quite good actually.
Can I just say?
Be interested in that.
Can I just say that Breath of the Gods is probably the best name for a game that doesn't exist that I've heard in a long time. I would play the game called Breath of the Gods.
I thought when I thought of that, I was like, actually, that is good.
Yeah, I'll definitely play a game called Breath of the Gods.
Yeah. And basically, those are the main things. All the other standard Ubisoft stuff in there that I don't really care about, to be honest. There's nothing else I wanted to mention. It was just those couple of things.
Okay, that sounds good. Let's move over to finally we have some pricing for the Xbox. Well, first of all, we have a new Xbox announced, which we was highly rumored that was going to be a Series S, Xbox Series S, and that kind of got leaked, and then after it got leaked, Microsoft just were like, well, the cat's out of the bag anyway, so let's announce it anyway. So they announced with a price £249. So it's like proper, like everyone's like, how much? That's cheaper than the Switch. That's crazy price, right? I think for a launch console. And then soon came after that came out with a Series X price. I'm talking UK prices, by the way, to our American listeners. I think that is $300 in America, that one, and then came up with $500 or $449.99 for the Series X. And we'll move over to let's move over to PS5 straight away, because the PS5 then a week later came up. Okay, here's our pricing. And they came out with the same price for the top tier one, the PS5, the one which is pregnant with the disc drive. That's same price for $499 and $500. And in the UK at least, £360, I think, for the
350.
Is it 350? I thought it was 360 for some reason. Okay, 350 for the slim one, not slim one, the one without the disc,
digital,
the digital only edition, the one without the disc drive. We understand that they're the same apart from the disc drive. That's what we're going on the assumption of now. So before what do you think about those prices? It's pretty much what we said they were going to be, I think.
Yeah, I think there's no real surprise on those prices whatsoever. For me, that's
no. So the disc drive one, I thought it was going to be £50 cheaper, not £100 cheaper or £90, whatever it is, cheaper. So that was a bit surprising for me. The Series S must be a surprise for you how much cheaper it is.
Yeah, I mean that, but then they've just gone it's not just a digital version of the other one. It's a reduced functionality console. So
no, it's not. It's a reduced resolution console, not functionality.
Exactly.
And this is the key.
Yeah, it's the same thing. For resolution is part of its function.
I know, but this is
semantics.
But this is on the discussion I want to have about this. This is why I think this is genius, because the difference is, and the way they're marketing this, and they're being very clear with the marketing. Because the problem with Microsoft on the previous, when they first launched the consoles, it was mixed messages all over the place, always on, this and that, and it's a media console, it's a games console. They didn't know what was happening. They're being super clear here. They're putting a lot of thought into their marketing. The Series S is a 1080p to 1440p console. So this is for you guys that have 1080p TVs, and the Pro is for the 4K people, the people that have the 4K TVs. And I'll tell you what, even though I've had the 4K TV now for a number of years, a lot of people still on 1080p. So that's why I think this is quite a clever thing. You play all the same games, you have all the same features, apart from no disc, of course. Same backwards compatibility, all of that shit, yeah. But we're targeting 1080p 60 rather than the 4K 60. I think that's very clever what they're doing here. And don't underestimate that, because somebody might be going like, especially parents buying, well, he's only got a 1080p TV on his bedroom, and this is a 1080p machine. It's £100 cheaper than the PlayStation Slim. That makes a difference. That makes a big difference, especially when you can just add a couple of games to it. Because once you add a couple of games, the price goes up. So I think this is very clever. But more so, and after saying all that, I'm buying the PlayStation 5, the digital edition. That's the one I'm gonna get. But that's because I have a PC. But then they also come up with the things called Xbox Access. Their pay monthly service, which is here in the UK is £20 for 24 months, gets you the Xbox Series S and Game Pass Ultimate. That's £20 a month. You get the Series S, Xbox Live, Xbox Game Pass for PC and for the console, and Xbox Cloud for £20 a month. And after 24 months, you own the console. spend an extra £8, 28 quid a month, $35 in America, and you get the same deal but with the Series X. What do you think about that? that's strong.
Well, yeah, absolutely. It's just much easier to pay 30 quid a month. You don't notice.
No.
500 quid all in one go. You notice.
And the Game Pass Ultimate is currently £16. I think that's I think is how much it costs. Likely to go up slightly. Game Pass Ultimate, because obviously they keep adding value to it, right? Especially with the xCloud and everything. If you do this, what it means is basically you paying for the console interest free over 2 years, and you're paying £10 only for the Game Pass Ultimate, Xbox Live, and all those bells and whistles. It's compelling. So if you're already paying Xbox Game Ultimate, you're paying £16. So really, you're only paying £4 more to get the Xbox Series S. That's only paying more if you're paying for the Ultimate service. You're only going to be paying £4 more. Here's the console, or £12 more. Here's the Xbox Series X. I think the Series S, I mean, they all sold out anyway. Everything sold out to PlayStation, Xbox, because obviously the COVID, all of that. But I think the Series S especially is going to sell like hotcakes. I think it's going to be selling like hotcakes. So that's what I think. I think it's interesting. My question is, will this make you buy one? Probably not, because you got a gaming PC.
To be honest, I don't think there's any point in buying a new console this time. Certainly not yet.
No, not yet. PlayStation, surely, eventually.
No, yeah, at some point, yeah. But this is the most non-excited I've been about a new console launch in the history of console launches. It's just there's no point in spending all of that extra money at this point. Sony's conference was boring.
Yes,
I thought. It was Sony's worst showing for several years.
Yeah.
I thought.
Yeah.
That they showed me nothing exciting. Still, the only reason that would tempt me into a PS5 is Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I'm like, oh, I must have that console. Everything else that I want to play, I can play on my PS4 or on my PC.
For me, and I'm probably going to ask you might know the answer. I haven't really checked. I take it Demon's Souls is like PS5 only, or is it PS4 as well?
No, it's probably, have you not seen it? It's PS5.
It's PS5 only. I've seen it. It looks good.
That's not that ain't happening on a PS4.
So to me, I would want a PlayStation to play that and Ratchet, and obviously then the following games to come. So I can see myself getting a PlayStation 5 in the summer, maybe, or whenever more games start. Yeah. But
it's one of those. I might change my tune when it's actually out and available to buy, and if I can just walk in the shop and go, "Oh, I'll go on, then I'll have one." But
exactly
at this point, I'm certainly not pre-ordering. I currently have no intention of going out and buying it.
Question: pregnant or non-pregnant?
Pregnant.
You're gonna get the pregnant version, so you can get the.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because I still. Take umbrage at the cost of digital games, particularly on the Sony store.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're massively overpriced, and I can go and get them cheaper as physical copies, and then I can trade those physical copies back in.
And physical copies can be cheaper as well if you buy them online and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So good question. Sorry, good answer. And this is where the Game Pass is such a big thing, because the Game Pass renders the disc thing.
Absolutely.
The only consideration you have to put is, do I want the 4K and the Blu-ray player, or am I okay with 1080p? You see what they're doing here? Mm-hmm. Microsoft are being extremely clever, and also throwing a lot of money at it, but they're being very clever with their marketing. I have no doubt they're taking a loss on both consoles.
Mm-hmm.
I have no doubt.
They all will be.
Yeah, especially on the Series S. So the interesting thing is, for me, is Game Pass currently for PC is £4. That's how much we pay. That's going to go up.
Mm-hmm.
It's gone up in America. It's going to go up in the UK at some point. It has to, because it's great value. I think it's going to go up to maybe £8, and it's still value for money. I'll still keep it at that price. But when it becomes £8, it starts going like 12 more. I guess is there's under the TV, or it starts making you think like that, and I'm like, do I just get a long USB HDMI cable and just put my PC playing on the whenever I want to sit down and play some games in HDR? I don't know, but it makes me think that, and the fact that it's making me think, do I want one because it's such an accessible price per month? Do I want one when I don't need one because I have a gaming PC? That's how good the price is. If it's making you think, do I want one? Especially for you as well, Marius, because you got a good gaming PC, but you haven't got the ray tracing or something like that. So that probably is a consideration as well. You would have no? Okay, fair enough. Because the Series S has ray tracing as well.
Yes.
You don't care about that.
No, it's just not enough for me. And again, I'm still on 1080. I haven't got a 4K TV or anything, and I certainly have no intention of buying both at this point.
Fair enough. And finally, just on the news, it's the Series 3000 series graphics cards came out, and now I have a very expensive paperweight currently inside my PC.
I hear Ben's getting one.
He's getting one. I don't know which one he's getting. He's getting either the 37 or the 3080. But the 3080.
Does that mean Ben's going to have a better PC than you?
Does that mean Ben's going to have a better PC than me? Well, he's going to have he's going to have a more powerful graphics card. Yes.
Are you gonna stand for that?
Yes, I am. I'll tell you I'll tell you why I'm going to stand for that. If I was on the 10 series still, if I had a 1080 Ti still, if I still had my 1080 Ti, or especially if I was on a 980 Ti still, it's a no-brainer, absolute no-brainer. Now the 1080, which is what's been benchmarked already, it's £800, which is not an insignificant amount of money, yeah, and it's about 30%. More powerful in ray tracing and stuff like that in certain games. Others 50, others 10. Like but it ranges. The average is about 20 to 30% more powerful. That's not enough for me to go like, let me go and sell mine and get another one, right? The 3090 is a different thing, but the 3090 is 1,400 quid, yeah, and that's crazy. So, to be honest with you, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep mine for another year or two, and whenever they come with the next graphics cards, then I'll do the upgrade. The jump is better. Is it more powerful than mine? Yes. Is it that much more powerful than mine? Then the answer is no. So no, I won't. It was the same thing with the CPU with me. So the CPU, I've only just upgraded my CPU. My other one was 5 years old, and I kept it for 5 years, was fine, and there was new ones coming out all the time. They were better value for money, more power efficient, better for this and that, and I hold off until I'm like, you know what, now it's finally a problem, so I'll upgrade it. So the graphics card I have is definitely no slouch still. So but the 3070 specifically, that's a good deal, because 3070 is also slightly better than a 2080 Ti. Certainly ray tracing is quite a bit better, and that's only like £400. That's where the value is. But yeah, no, I'm not gonna buy it. But I thought I'll be remiss not to mention it. Also, all the 3080s are out of stock. All the PlayStation 5s are out of stock. All the Xboxes, everything is out of stock, and people are selling them for crazy money on eBay already. That's
madness.
That's people are crazy. Right. Okay. So that's the news. A bit of an extended. There's more.
Whoa! I haven't finished with news yet.
Wow.
There's 3 more items of news.
They were not on my paper.
I did tell you I had plenty more news.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. Go for it, please.
Did you hear about the Marios?
Oh yes, I have. In fact,
yes.
Ben, which I don't know if he's still on chat, he was certainly watching earlier. Was talking. He bought them, and he was talking to me. I was streaming, and he was messaging me about it. So obviously, he has Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine as well, and the first Galaxy. of the Galaxy one, not 2. see, so
which is a bit weird.
I've only played the Galaxy for a bit, not enough to, because I never owned it. So I need to change that. So I'm gonna get. By the way, yes, I am getting it, so I can play.
Good.
So I can play.
You need to hurry up though, because they've gone very Nintendo with this.
I know. They got super. So it's only available until the end of the financial year.
What the
and then so it's available digitally to buy now if I wanted to go and get it now. But I'll get the physical thing because Nintendo
came off the digital pipes in.
They are as well. It's available digitally, but I'm gonna buy the physical thing because Nintendo games hold their value very well. But this game here, when it's no longer available, technically speaking, the price might actually go higher than I actually paid for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Crazy, right? So I am gonna get it. Because Sunshine, I had the GameCube. I bought Sunshine. I didn't like it. I played like an hour or two. Didn't like it, and I want to see if I'm gonna give that game another shot. I'm gonna give it another shot. But I'm gonna get a capture card as well for my computer, and I'm gonna do the whole streaming thing. I might actually stream all three. We'll see. But Mario 64, I was playing a bit of it yesterday because I got an emulated version, like the running at 720 OP, like runs really nice actually on the. It works with the Xbox controller straight off the bat. Actually, this version comes in. You press to run it, and it just creates a save file and a config file on or whatever you set it up, and it comes already emulated, everything ready for the Xbox controller. Just works straight away.
Very good.
Look,
wow.
Do you like it? Anyway, it's and it runs fine. But oh my god, that game, the camera. I'm like, no. I don't think I could play Mario 64. That camera is awful. But going to what the changes they've done, I don't know if I'm in love with some of the changes they've done here. They've only really added the widescreen support. They up-res some of the menus, and they just using the same textures but slightly up-res to 720p on Mario 64 and then 1080p on the other two. And only Galaxy is running at 60 frames. The other ones are running at PowerPoint frames. So, but I am interested to get it. Yeah. 3 bits of news. What's the other ones you have?
3 bits of news. I mean, this is news that probably I'm only excited about. They're doing a Shenmue anime series.
Yes, on Netflix.
No, I don't think it's Netflix.
They're not. I thought it was Netflix.
Crunchyroll and Adult Swim.
Oh, okay.
I don't know that. Yeah, so I think it's going on Crunchyroll rather than Netflix, but. I'm excited about that because I think Shenmue is a cool story and it sits perfectly for anime. And I think they're just going to do like the story of the games. And B, that's the way we're going to get the fucking ending of Shenmue because we ain't getting any more Shenmue games. So I'm hoping this really takes off. And then I'm hoping that Yu Suzuki gets involved and tells them the whole story of Shenmue and we can actually finish the story, but via anime rather than game. Or games, because he still thinks there's another 4 games or something that he wants to make.
I like when there's yes, I'm excited for it as well. But I like it when you get the ending to something you like in a different medium. So Firefly, for instance, obviously we kind of got an ending by having a movie instead, and comic books, and I like stuff like that. By the way, I've rewatched. I like rewatching every now and then. I've rewatched Firefly again recently, and. I must be like my 6th, 7th time I watched the whole thing, and I have to say it's still great. Every time I watch, I still go like, shh, they should just kept doing this. This is so fucking good. But anyway, good. Yes, I am excited. What else have you got?
My final piece of news. I was just interested to see what thoughts are on the. I don't know if you heard about this, but on the new the UFC 4 game.
Okay,
EA.
I have no idea.
No, I didn't think you would. Basically, a few weeks after its release, EA started putting adverts in the game. So, like when the fight replays were on and stuff like that, all of a sudden adverts just started appearing.
I heard about this actually. I heard about
in the game, and obviously fans kicked off and said that's out of order. This is a full retail game. It's not like a free to play. Why are you making me watch ads and stuff? And the EA have subsequently gone, okay, we can tell you're not happy with that. We're going to take them out again. And I'm just interested to see what your thoughts are on that.
Well, outrageous. I have a funny thing with ads anyway. As you know, I have lots of. I go out of my way to make sure that ads are not targeted at me in my house at least, and in my devices. But I'm kind of okay if there's like if you have like a billboard or something and that keeps changing with different ads as you throughout the lifespan of the game, because in real life sport venues stuff like that will change those advertising things as well. So I'm okay with that, but I'm not okay with a full screen ad. No.
Yeah, but see, generally I would agree with you, but I'm like, actually, I think in this instance, what happens if you're watching UFC in real life? Exactly that, and obviously that's what EA Sports does. It has exactly the same like typeface and everything like that. So when you're playing the game, it looks exactly like you're watching UFC. So this is absolutely in keeping with the simulation of UFC on the telly.
Oh, I see. Okay, I don't watch UFC on the telly, so right. Well, in that case, that makes it slightly better, but yeah. But this is where we're going. Like especially with
absolutely, yeah. That's why I thought it was interesting to bring up
with Netflix and everything. They do. They're already looking trialing. Not they haven't done it yet, but they're already looking into doing things like you might be watching a Netflix show, and there might be a billboard on the show which will have
first another show. Yeah.
No, but not just that. They will have ads based on you. So they can change. They can digitally change the ads based on, and that's on the. Yes, so that's where we're going anyway. So no, yeah, I think it's a bit bad. Hey, and speaking of EA, of what to add on the news with all of this thing, I don't think it's been added here in the UK yet, but EA Access, certainly the first level of it, is being added to Xbox Game Pass.
Yes, I forgot to mention that as well.
They just keep adding stuff. They're like, "Are you happy?" They're like, "Are you happy with what you have?" Yes, we're very happy. Thank you, Microsoft. Oh, here we go. Thank EA as well. Then for take this as well. Why not? I think the reason for doing that is because I think they're gonna have to up it a bit. But we knew that was coming because it was in beta. We knew that they were gonna have to up it a bit, and yeah, I thought that was quite funny. Just because you mentioned EA there. Right, have you got any more?
No, I've spent news now. That's it, done. That was a big blast of news.
Right, very good. Let's move over to the playlist. This is the part of the show where we talk about the games we've been playing the last couple of weeks. So in this case, last 3 weeks, because we had some changes. Right, you've been playing. You've been playing. Tell Me Why. Tell Me Why, which is an Xbox Game Pass. Game.
It certainly is.
2 episodes, I think, are out, right?
3.
Oh, 3 already. Nice. Tell me.
Yes.
Tell me.
Yeah, so it is by Don't Nod, who did Life is Strange, which, as you know, I am a big fan of. I think the 3 episodes thing is one of the reasons that this has worked really well. Like previously with Life is Strange, the release schedule on that was bonkers. There was massive gaps in between each episode. This 1 episode each week for 3 weeks. Done.
Wow. Okay, that works. Yeah.
Which is that is how to do an episodic game like that. And I like their games. I mean, I think there's a little bit of danger of them going a bit like Telltale, where all of their games, there's literally like a load of check boxes of all the things that their games have. And I think I can see a bit of a formula in their games that they're all sort of follow the same sort of thing. So let's see what happens with the next game that they do. But it tells a story of 2 twins, and it starts off basically one of them kills their mother because she was trying to kill him. And it's sort of them going around and sort of when he gets released from the detention center, he comes back. So he's a trans, so he's sort of whatever they call it, reassigned to male gender. And I think like it addresses that. And I mean, it's one of those that's so outside of my realm of understanding, that I know nothing about that sort of experience. And I think it made me certainly think a bit more about some of the challenges that people in that sort of situation might face. So I think that's a reasonably big name game to be doing something like that. I think is definitely a credit to them.
But representation is very, very important in any media.
Yeah, absolutely is. And I think being, of white middle class male background, you don't think about these things because it just doesn't enter in my life experience. So I've sort of more and more sort of realizing the importance of these sort of things, and I think this does from my experience anyway, does a pretty good job. That again, like I say, like with Life is Strange, that there are some sort of supernatural elements. So the two, they can sort of they have sort of telepathy with each other, so they can sort of have conversations with each other, and they can each see they can like see their memories. So as you're wandering around, you'll see flashes of memories that they can then sort of watch the memory. And like there's some bits where they each remember things slightly differently. So you have the two different versions, and you have to try and decide which one you think is the actual version. I really enjoyed it. I think absolutely doing it like that, 3 episodes in 3 weeks, is the way to do it. And I think what they do is really good. Highly like it. Not for you at all. You'd probably hate it, but
I was about to ask, is it for me? But you've
no, because there really isn't much game going on here. There's a few puzzles. Like each episode has a couple of puzzles, something like that. But mostly it's just talking to people and wandering around. So I don't think it's for you. But I loved it.
That sounds awesome. All right. I want to talk about. Well, it does really sound awesome, and another great little game by Xbox Game Pass. They just keep throwing them. There's one I've installed I want to play, which is supposed to be a roguelike, which I'm looking forward to trying as well. Haven't had a chance to get to it yet, and that's because Dead Cells has got his grips back into me.
You haven't spoken enough about that on the podcast.
So I struggle with being able to go back to a game after I've stopped playing it, and Dead Cells, I would say I mastered Dead Cells. I finished the game once, and then I finished the game again with one boss cell, giving me the second boss cell. So I finished the game on normal and on hard, and now I'm playing on, and then didn't want to tackle the very hard. I didn't see the challenge at the time. I thought, well, it's hard, but I'm okay with stopping here. And I stopped playing the game, and literally it must have been a year or two before I actually played it again. There was some DLC, so I bought the DLC, and rather than doing the normal thing, which is to start a new save and start again from the beginning and get the DLC, I said no, I'm gonna jump into the deep end. And my god, I died lots of times on the first level. But until the point where I started getting my flow back, and actually managed to get to the final boss only once so far on very hard. That game is hard, but it's all about getting the start right, because if you can get the start right, and we're talking like a 5-6 minutes loop. If I can get the first 2 or 3 biomes done in a certain order without getting touched, and get enough of the upgrades required, then it puts you in a good stead to try and go for that final boss. It's all about dodging. It's all about just jumping around, and you have sometimes 6 to 10 enemies on you, all with different attack animations, and you need to try and keep an eye on everyone, because you might be next to somebody that's about to attack. That's fine. You can stay there for a microsecond as you dodge the other guy, but then get out of there. So it's a lot of that. The DLC is great as well, by the way. I think that the new biomes they've added. I wanted to talk about it because that's the only game I've been playing it, and for any new listeners, anyone that hasn't is not been long time listener, this game is brilliant. You need to play Dead Cells. It's brilliant. I think you'll like it. as well, Marius. I think you played a bit of it. I think you like, but
Yeah, I have played.
But what this game is bringing to me anyway, but without you, what it's bringing to me is that Mirror's Edge thing. You know, the I keep wanting to go back and you know the no, I can do it, I can do better, I can go further. Yeah, I absolutely love that game. Yeah, so that's what I want to talk about. That I haven't had a chance to play BioShock yet. I will do it because you got the
Yeah, right.
You got no, I will. You got the thing in my head of I wanted to replay BioShock. You have been playing BioShock. How much of it have you played?
I've played all of the first one.
You played the whole game again.
The whole game, yes.
Does he hold up? Does he hold up still?
Mostly yes. Yeah, it does. I think like you can tell it's getting on a little bit now. You know, it is very much segmented into levels as opposed to just being somewhere that you walk through. It's clearly you know, load one bit and you do everything in that bit, and then you go to the next bit and do the next bit, sort of thing. The loading is terrible. Again, just because of the sort of age of it.
Yeah.
Did
you play the remastered edition or the original?
Yes. Yeah.
The loading is still bad?
Yes.
Wow. On what, on PlayStation?
On PS4, yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, because it's PS4. It's bloody spinning rust.
The saving system is terrible. It only saves when you load in a new section.
Yeah.
So it terminally crashed on me at one point, so I lost an hour of gameplay. Yeah. Which is terrible. But I mean, and the shooting, it's not great. It's not as good as I remember the shooting being, to be honest with you. But the plasmids I love. Look, for me, BioShock, it's about the environment and the atmosphere,
the story,
and the whole Rapture thing. Yeah, that is what makes BioShock a great game. I mean, obviously, you know, when you know the story, it doesn't quite have the same impact when you already know what's going on. I mean, this was probably my third playthrough of that game. And also, I feel there's too many things, both in terms of fucking picking stuff up. Most of that game is spent emptying ashtrays and bins and just picking stuff up. There's a hell of a lot of that going on. And also, I think there's too many of the plasmids. I found some of them are just novelty ones. They're amusing to use, but I mean, I tended to most of the time I just stick with the Electro Bolt, just because that's by far the most useful one. And I felt a lot of the others were unnecessary, and I didn't really feel the need to use them. But yeah, I liked it, and also the hacking. There's too much of that.
I used to remember. I used to remember liking the hacking anyway. Yeah.
I do like it, but I realized, there's a lot of it.
You see, I was so excited to replay the remastered, but I think you kind of put a little burst on my excitement balloon. Excitement balloon. That's a good podcast title. Might write that down. I feel like I want to play an old game because I've been feeling in the mood of really watching stuff I like and on TV and and maybe watching playing a game I want to play again. So maybe that's not the one I go back to. Maybe Dead Space is the one I go back to, because that's the other one that was that's calling to me, like a Dead Space replay. But that one has not been remastered. That one would be with warts and all. That one. So I don't know. Maybe that's the one I do go back to. But okay, skipping to the remaster or remake. You were playing Halo. Is this Halo compatible?
It is, yes. The anniversary edition or whatever they call it, I think, on Game Pass.
Yes. I've also played this recently. Halo. In fact, I've tried. I haven't finished, but I've tried all 3 or 4 of them that came out because they've done the Reach Combat Evolved Anniversary Edition. They've done 2 and 3. So you play the Combat Evolved. What do you think? You've done the thing of swapping between all the.
That's all I do.
Yeah.
Like every I'm like constantly on that button. There's something about it, isn't it?
I love it.
And it's one of those things where like you go in and you're like, I mean, look, I was like, and the graphics, they don't look that good.
Yeah.
Like some of the faces, I'm like, oh, it's not that great. And then you press the button, and like, oh, okay, it has improved rather a lot.
I think there's a couple of things there. The game came out in 2002 or something, right? And then the remastered edition came out, I think, 2010 or something. So even this remastered edition you're playing is just
it's a bit old.
It's a bit old already. Yeah. Halo 3. Incidentally, which is I think my favorite Halo from all of them. Definitely the one with the big action scenes and everything. Well, all of them have that, but Halo 3 actually I think you probably enjoy more if you actually go for that. That's a better remaster, I think, because it's newer. Yeah, but yes, how much of it have you played?
A good few hours. I'm a few hours into it.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
I'm probably about halfway.
I love
something like that.
I love the sniper level at night. Have you done the sniper level at night?
Yes.
That's a great level. Yeah. That's a great level.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually finding, I think all the levels all merge into one for me. I don't think there's anything like the levels don't stand out.
Okay.
For me, I think like the missions are quite samey, and there's nothing for me that there's no outstanding level so far. They're just another level of shooting people.
And this is where Halo 3 comes in. Halo 3 proper.
However, I mean the shooting itself is absolutely top notch. Like it does does exactly what it does. Yeah. And the story. I mean, I don't understand why people get excited about Halo and the Halo story, because there isn't fucking one. It's shit. I'm sorry. It's just there's nothing exciting or interesting going on in the story whatsoever. I just don't get it.
Apologies to all the Halo fanboys.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't understand. It's not interesting for me. There's not much of it for a start, particularly in the first one, and it's not interesting. And I also forgot just how aliens it was. Particularly at the very start, it's just like they've literally like copy and pasted from Aliens at the beginning. I'd forgotten about that. So yeah, I'm absolutely enjoying it. I think it's for me. I've never obviously been a huge Halo fan, although I have played it before. And I think it's the quality of the shooting saves it for me.
And yes, but the story's not that. I mean, I hear what you say about the stories. It gets better on Halo 3 for sure. But you know, I like the fact that you fight in grunts, and the reason they're so cheerful is because they're a cheerful race that's been enslaved and forced to fight. So they're still cheerful, but they come into war. I like that type of stuff. It's wacky but fun, and I like that. That's why they're so colorful. They're a cheerful race that's been enslaved and forced to fight a battle. But yes, the shooting, and that's it. I played the game. I played all three recently and streamed. I didn't play the whole game. Halo Combat Evolved actually was the one I played the most. I think I got quite close to finishing it actually. And the reason why it's endlessly replayable, especially on a modern monitor like I have, is they actually have done the ultra wide. They've actually put in the ultra wide support and all the modern things you want from a port. And it holds up because it's a great shooter. that's why it's still a great shooter, even though it's been so long since it came out. And that just shows how far ahead of the game it was when it came out. Because if you can play it nearly 20 years later and say, you know what, this still holds up. Because it's the same game, because you can press the thing and change, as you know, by the way, that's all I keep playing as well. I keep just pressing the button and shaking. Oh, old graphics.
Can't help it, can you? Yeah.
I love it. I love Every remaster should have that. Every remaster ever should.
And it's the fact that it's just instant as well. There's absolutely no delay on there. That's why.
Because the other one I liked was the Curse of the Monkey Island as well. They had a similar button on that as well, and you're like, this doesn't look that much better. And they're like, oh, nope.
Yeah, Day of the Tentacle as well. You could do it on. Yeah,
I love that. But yes, it's a great game, and I'm happy that you've been playing it. And enjoying it. And finally, you've also been playing Song of the Deep. Now, I played a tiny bit of this, but it didn't quite grab me. But what do you think? It's the same.
Yeah, the same.
yeah.
So it's by Insomniac. It's like a 2D sort of Metroidvania type thing. It's like a little fairy tale type thing. You're a girl. Her father's a like fisherman or something, and has gone out into the sea in his submarine and doesn't come back. So she builds a submarine to go and look for him, and it's just sort of exploring to try and find your father. And yeah, it's just okay. I mean, it looks quite nice, like the nice cartoony visuals. The combat isn't good. I didn't sort of find that gelled with me very well. Nice. I quite like the way it is narrated like a storybook. And yeah, that's all I can really say. I like again 2-3 hours maybe I played it, and I was like, yeah, okay, I've sort of seen this now. It was okay.
For me now, what I'm looking for more, and that's why I'm playing Dead Cells. I'm playing Dead Cells because I've kind of like put the challenge to myself to finish it on very hard. But I'm more at the moment into games that either the story is great and I have a great story and a great game to go with it, or I'm just looking for the perfect gameplay. Like the gameplay is solid, and that's what I'm after at the moment. And when I play, and I've played a couple games, like I play for like a half an hour now, I'm like, this just hasn't got that gameplay loop I want, you know. And the reason, by the way, I went to Dead Cells, just talking Dead Cells again, is because obviously I played Rogue Legacy, and it was such an early access build that I bought. I didn't realize I was buying such an early. I'm happy that I bought it because I'll play the game when it's out. I was like, oh, great, thanks Rogue Legacy. You know. Tickled my interest in roguelikes again, and but you're not there. It is a demo essentially. So I'm like, what are the roguelikes I like? Dead Cells. That's why I jumped into it. But yeah, I'm after games with at the moment more like I'm really after the really nice loop games, and I think that's what roguelikes bring to me. So. Spoiler alert, but for next week you're probably going to hear about two very different roguelikes I've been playing. One of them is on the Xbox Game Pass. The other one is one that got recently released. That's all I'm going to say about that. Right. That ends the playlist, and we can move on to... Oh yeah, I've also been playing PUBG, but you don't want to hear about that. It's PUBG.
No.
PUBG is you loot for 20 minutes, and then you get sniped in the head. Okay, that's what happened. Or you snipe somebody else in the head, and then you go like yes, and then you get sniped as well. So it's snipe or be sniped. It's
boring.
I like it. I like it. Let's move on to the part of the show we like to call Why Don't You? And this is the part of the show where we give a suggestion. Oh yes, I remember about Craig just now.
Well done.
we give you a suggestion of something to do, something to see, experience, eat, whatever. And I'll start with Craig's suggestion. He says, for the why don't you watch Dark on Netflix? This one really gets your brain thinking the whole way through. Very clever program, puzzle-filled twists and turns. Every episode, everything is connected, and I mean everything. It's created very cleverly. It says German science fiction thriller.
Never heard of it.
Dark. It's on Netflix.
Sounds interesting.
It does sound interesting. There's a couple of European shows, non-English shows on that I've been meaning to watch. One of them is Money Heist, which I think you said you liked it.
Yeah, I recommend that highly.
Yeah. Then there's Rain as well, which looks really cool as well. The one with the rain is acid, and you can like post-apocalyptic. I like that shit, you know. And obviously now Dark, that's recommended by Craig. So there's a few things to watch there. Right. Before we move over to yours, I want to recommend the Eden Project in England. See, somewhere to go. So this is only for for anyone really that's in England or travels to England. I went on my time off. I went there with my girlfriend in Cornwall, and when you're expecting something, and it meets exactly your expectations, but then goes over as well. And this is what it was. Have you heard about the Eden Project? You've probably seen it. You've probably seen
I have heard about it. Never been.
The big domes you see, lots of domes, essentially creating two biomes, different biomes. One of them is a tropical biome, like a rainforest biome, and the other one is a Mediterranean climate biome. So your South Europe, North Africa kind of temperature. That one is slightly smaller. The other one is bigger. And surrounding those biomes, this is built into a quarry that was like an old quarry that they built the domes into, and then the surrounding is lots of different gardens, sense gardens, where you go in different smells and different textures and different lights coming through all of these different plants. If you like stuff like that, you'll love this. This is great. But then, when you go into the actual biome itself, especially the rainforest one, the first one, immediately you're like so humid, and so it's like you're inside the rainforest. It's crazy, and you have these massive trees and plants that have been there for many years, and actual birds and everything from the same climates. And you kind of like go around the biome. It's huge, and you go through rope bridges and everything. And every single different type of plant is labeled and explain a bit about it. You see, literally, you get to parts where it shows you like the rice plant. Like there's like lots of rice plants. And how the rice is made. And obviously, you have your palm trees and bananas and all of these great things. And then there was this. Little birds, I forgot the name of them now, but they're little chicken type. 1 sec, what's it called? Row partridge. That's what it's called. A row partridge. Yeah, have you heard of a row partridge? No,
I have not.
Tiny little things, look like chickens, but like
very taste good.
Very colorful. If Chewbacca probably would that's exactly what Chewbacca would have done. I had my camera and I was like, I'm gonna try and get a picture of one of them, and when you go slowly to try and take a picture and you think it's gonna just run away. No, instead it goes in front of the camera, starts posing, and then another one comes in, smacks them all the way, and then they're like, no, it's my time now for some pictures, please. They just obviously not afraid of anything, not completely ignoring the social distancing. They just come right after your face. But anyway, so that was great. And then you move over, travel over to the Mediterranean one. And again, as soon as you go into the Mediterranean one, they have fewer trees and stuff like that, more like grapes and stuff like that. And and it's a lot more light coming through, and the air feels different straight away. If it actually feels like you're on holiday in southern Europe or more importantly northern Africa. And they actually had a bar with actually very well priced drinks. We're talking like a gin and tonic for like I don't know, like £4 or something, which is decent for some wine for like £3, £4. So actually reasonably priced drinks. Literally a jug of Pimm's for like £9. Which again, we're talking about reasonably priced drinks. That you would expect it will be crazy. But anyway, and you can actually sit sit out in this patio area. It feels like you're on holiday. Like the weather is nice, and you're having a drink inside, and all the nice plants around you. It was just great. It's a really good experience. Highly recommended. So that's
a great. Why don't you? I'm definitely gonna take you up on that one at some point. Yeah,
it's
never been. So.
It's great. And if
Sounds great.
Yeah, and reasonable prices. I think it was £28 to get in. I think there's family passes, but that's a yearly pass. That's for the year pass, so you can go many times as you like. During the year. Obviously, it's
Cornwall. You're gonna go more than once in a year.
It's Cornwall, so it's far from us. I guess if you live closer to Cornwall, it's a good deal. I guess. Yeah. For me, it was like a 5-hour drive, but you know what I mean. It's yes, that's my why don't you? So let's move over to your why don't you? Back to Netflix via YouTube.
Back to Netflix. Well, yeah, indeed. So, I mean, firstly, before I get on to my true why don't you, seeing as I was gearing up towards this last time, I wanted to update on the Karate Kid saga. I went for it, and I did watch the next Karate Kid with Hilary Swank.
What do you think?
It's not a good movie, but also it was not as bad as all the reviews had led me to believe either.
And this is what I was saying.
People were overly harsh on it, but it's not good. I mean, basically, like all of the Karate Kid movies, it's saved by Mr. Miyagi.
Yes,
he's just brilliant. Like every scene he does is brilliant. There were two things in it that absolutely killed me. Firstly, like it's set like the Hilary Swank character goes to this obviously quite well-to-do school in America, and there seems to be like a team of vigilantes in the school. They're like prefects or whatever, but they're not prefects. They're like fucking vigilantes that are like there's this dude. I forget the actor's name. He plays Clarence Boddicker, the villain from RoboCop. I can't remember what the actor's name is, but he's like in charge of them. He's like this ex-military dude who like runs it like an army camp, and basically they just go and bully all the other kids, which I found bizarre. But there's this one scene. They're like at a school dance, and out of nowhere, like three of these, like they're in the school hall or whatever, and three of these vigilante dudes just fucking bungee jump out of nowhere and like smash loads of stuff up, and it was the most like we literally had to stop the movie for a minute just to look at me and my wife look at each other like what the fuck just actually happened. They just bungee jump. Like there was no like there's no lead up to it. There's no like mention of them going and ruining the party. There's no sort of lead up to bungee jumping. It's just all of a sudden it's there. My guess is that there was some deleted scene or something that explains it that didn't make the final cut for some reason. But it's one of the most bizarre things I've seen in the movie for quite some time.
I've seen that. I think the last time I see that movie, I was in Portugal still. So we're talking over 20 years ago. So I think that's the last time I actually saw the movie. So the only things I remember from the movie is very simple. It's she jumps away from the car and lands on the boot, and in the kind of like Zen garden thing when she's trying to jump from one thing to the other. That's the only two things I remember from the movie. That's it. So don't remember any ninjas, any school. Don't remember anything like that. That's the only two things I remember from the movie. I guess that's probably the two of the better parts in a way that I remember. Maybe
yeah, probably. Yeah. But anyway, this was all leading up to the fact that the Cobra Kai series that was on YouTube is now on Netflix. So they've got the first 2 seasons on there. It is fucking brilliant. Have you watched any of it? Have you seen it? No. You need to get on it. It is absolutely amazing. I love it. I mean, it's cheesy as fuck. It's like it's everything you expect from something based on the Karate Kid. It like absolutely sort of lives up to its legacy. It's very, very cheesy. Some of the characters, they're caricatures, really, and like it is stupid and terrible in places, but it knows perfectly well that it's stupid and terrible. So it's sort of laughing at itself.
Is it a bit like that Jean-Claude Van Damme series?
Yes, it is like that Jean-Claude Van Damme, Jean-Claude Van Johnson.
Yeah. I really like Jean-Claude Van Johnson, actually. Yeah.
It is like that in places, yeah. it's open, and like the characters' roles flip a little bit. So it tells the story of Daniel LaRusso and Johnny is arch nemesis from the original Karate Kid, like years later, and their sort of characters change a bit. I love Johnny Lawrence's character. He's like he's still in the 80s. He basically doesn't know what the internet is. He has to be like, he keeps calling it the Facebook and stuff like that. He just and he doesn't understand what politically correct is. Like there's some like there's one bit where he's like on the phone to a prospective like parent to for their kid to join his school, and he's like, yeah, we take boys, yeah, and girls. He's like, gender what? He's like, he just doesn't get it, and just he says some like inappropriate stuff that it's just the way he does it. And in the first season, that one of my favorite bits, like there's this dude like in the like the council for the karate tournament. In one episode, you see them in their like little meeting, and they're talking about arranging the tournament. And he's like, "Blue mats this year, guys. We're getting blue mats for the floor. Yes, this year it's going to be amazing." And then a couple of episodes later, when it's happening and it's really busy, and you see him standing there, and he's like, "It's so busy this year." He's like, "It's them blue mats, man. It's them blue mats." That's what I got. It's just this love for these blue mats it's so well done. I haven't laughed at something like that for a good while. It's genuinely kept me. It's proper funny. You should definitely get on it. It's really good. I like it.
I will. It's definitely on my watch list of stuff to watch. Yeah, sounds fun, man. So because obviously John Bon Johnson has been cancelled, so there's not going to be a series 2, unfortunately.
Yes, there is a season 3 of this coming. It's next year. I
hope Netflix just contacts John Claude and go like, "Oi, do you wanna come and do?
That would be good. That would be good.
Come and do a series."
The other thing I like is another one of those. The episodes are 30 minutes long.
Yes,
which
something to be said about that. There's something to be said about that. All right, okay, that's all sounds good. Some really good recommendations. I want to thank Craig for his opening question and opening. Why don't you? I also want to do a public service announcement now. The way we used to record this before, we used to record hit record, catch up a bit, and then start recording the podcast, which meant that I could get a nice Easter egg and slap it at the end. Whenever I go press live and I say hello and welcome, and then I press end and I finish, there's no recording of anything else, which makes it very hard for me to find Easter eggs sometimes. So we may have reached the point where there might not be Easter eggs sometimes going forward. So obviously the last podcast had an extra Easter egg. I don't know if you got to that part, but I just wanted to throw that one out there. Getting Easter eggs, unless I cut something out, which that's how we can get another Easter egg, is difficult. The way we currently recording. That's all I wanted to say about that. So,
fair enough.
You may or may not have Easter eggs going forward, depending on what I can get out of it. For instance, what I've just said here now, I can easily cut into an Easter egg and then just make the rest fit.
Job done.
There's little things like that I can do. So I'm still. But yes, that's what I think we might start doing at the end. Some of the rumblings I might just cut rumblings off, finish the thing, and then add rumblings as Easter eggs. We'll see. But that's just a bit of a public service announcement there for everyone. Also, I knew there was some audio issues with the last podcast where Marius was super loud and I was very quiet. That's just real life. Marius is a very loud guy. He's not allowed to work indoors. His desk is normally 10 meters apart from everyone else's desk at work. What happened was I forgot to turn the levels to the normal, because that's not how he is in real life. If you talk to him, he's shouting at you all the time.
Always shouting.
It's a true story. Yeah. Right. Anyway, so just wanted to touch on that. But yes, I think that's it from me. Anything else you want to add? Any kung fu thing you want to add? Throw in there? No.
I mean, I watched Police Story again.
Police Story.
Mm.
What is that Police Story?
Please tell me you've seen Police Story.
I don't think I have seen Police Story. Oh, I've seen Police Story. It's the one where you get with the Tyrannosaurus with a dino. No, that's Kung Fu.
What are you talking about?
What's the crazy? What's the crazy one on YouTube where it was a game as well afterwards? It's a Kung Fu something. Kung Fu Hustle.
Oh, Kung Fu Fury.
That's it. Yeah, that's
no, it's not.
with
It's
the,
not
with
that.
the Triceracop or something with Triceracop.
Yeah, Triceracop.
I like that.
That is brilliant.
Yeah,
That is brilliant.
I like that. Triceracop for the win.
No. Police Story is probably my second favorite Jackie Chan movie.
Oh, okay.
If you haven't seen it, you should. It's absolutely amazing. It's
What's
really
your favorite?
good.
What's your favorite one? Rush Hour.
No. Drunken Master.
1985. This movie is as old as me.
Mm-hmm. It is great. There's some amazing stunts in it.
Hang on a second. I'm looking at the poster for it. It's basically the Tekken guy.
Yes.
You know the Tekken. That's him. That's the same guy.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the same guy.
It is.
Yeah. There you go then. I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew it was based on Jackie Chan. I didn't realize it was based on a movie as well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah. Some absolute amazing stunts. This is the movie that caused insurance companies to say, nope, not insuring you anymore.
Well, he hasn't been insured since '85.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. They do some mad stuff in there, and like again, I've said this before. I love the old movies from that era, action movies, particularly like Hong Kong action movies, because like people genuinely hurt themselves to do this. Yeah. It's not like Avengers where any old nerd with a computer can slap some CGI on there and make it look exciting. This is like the real people get like there's a scene at the start, he's chasing the bus. And obviously he does the classic like hanging on the side of the bus and stuff. But then he gets in front of it and like he's pointing the gun at the bus to get the driver to stop. So the driver like slams his brakes on, and like I've seen this in documentaries and stuff, and it's like in the outtakes at the end, which by the way are always the best bits of the Jackie Chan movie is the end credits.
Yeah.
So like the brakes slam on, and the two people on the top deck come out the window of the bus, and the idea is to land on the car, like there's a car parked in the middle of the road, so they land on the car, and then whatever, he carries on, but it goes right. They miss the car. So they just land slap onto the concrete, and like, but like he's just like you can see him. He gives a shifty little look, and he's like doesn't look dead. Carry on, like finishes off the scene, and then they run back to check that they're all right.
Okay. Keep rolling.
And like the at the end as well, like it's one of his quite famous stunts. He's in a shopping centre and jumps on. There's this big metal pole with a load of like fairy lights around it, and he jumps on and slides down the pole. And completely fucks himself up. Gets like 3rd-degree burns on his hands and everything from doing it. Nails his back in. It's just, I love that.
I'm gonna see if I can watch that then. Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, you really should. It's a great movie.
All right.
All Jackie Chan movies are great. No, that's not true. That's not true. I'm going to take that back. All his old ones are great.
Rush Hour 3 is pretty bad, I think. I actually quite like Rush Hour. I think Rush Hour is okay. 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 I'm saying okay only.
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
very racist.
Yeah, it is.
I've seen it recently, and I'm like, oh my god, this game. I mean, proper racist, you know what I mean? But yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, I can't.
Yeah,
there's one bit in particular in the pool hall that I just can't. repeat on the
I know,
podcast. It's just like,
But it's not just
whoa.
racist towards black people; it's racist towards Chinese people as well.
It's across the board.
They don't just do
Yeah.
one. They just
Yeah.
shotgun approach to the race. Is
Yeah,
what
it is. But like again, these things are a sign of the time. That movie would not get made now.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. We got made
But yeah,
okay.
that's all.
Good. All right. Well, in that case, let's finish there. I think I managed to get a podcast title out of it. Yeah, I'm okay with that. And I think I managed to get an Easter egg out of it as well. Maybe we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna go to get some food. I'm gonna go out get some food now. I think that sounds like a good idea. Sounds like a good idea.
I've got to go and do the shopping. Boring.
Yeah, I'll do shopping later. I think I'm gonna make a nice pasta tonight. Maybe we'll see. We'll see. See what I fancy. See what the girlfriend fancies. She always says no to the first option. I've realized that. So what I do is I normally suggest something I don't want first, because she's gonna say no anyway. Then I move over to something I want. that's the way to do it. Oh. She's looking at me with the evils now. Right. Ben is saying something. Pasta. Oh yeah. But Ben, what happens is every time I'm streaming, Ben says, "Oh, I'm about to go get some tea," because he's from the north, and I'm like, "What are you having?" Pasta. Every time it's pasta. I swear that's why he's only on pasta. And yes, Ben,
Pasta's good shit.
Pasta's good shit. I was trialing, and I might actually have this on my streams going forward. The new RTX Studio, that RTX broadcast software that does a few things like obviously you've heard about the RTX voice, where you can, and I might start using that in the future. Now that's out of beta, but this is the one for the camera, which I quite like, which is zoomed in on me, but then obviously as I move it follows me, and I might use it on when I'm streaming, but I don't know how it's gonna play with a green screen, because I don't want it to get off green screen and then it just doesn't
I have to say I don't like it. I think you should leave it stationary. I think it's rubbish.
Oh, there you go. Thank you.
I find it annoying. I think it's better just to be. You don't move, like, it's not like you're doing a lot. You don't exactly move enough to have a need. If you just leave it set up as it was, I think it's annoying.
Well, in that case, this is the first and last time you've seen it, because Ben is saying he doesn't like it. You're saying you don't like it.
These things, you?
So you need to try. You need to try these things. Okay, if it's distracting, I won't use it on streaming. I don't think it's that distracting.
If you were moving around and not actually doing things,
I don't think it's that distracting at all. Do you? What are you talking about? Okay, fair enough. Right, I'll get rid of it for next podcast. Don't worry about it. Right. Okay. Let's end this because I need to get out of here. Ben, thank you very much for being on chat. And I think you're the only one that was on chat today. But thank you. If we only get one person, Ben is the best one to get. To be fair, if we only get one, and this is not our band. This is a different band.
Yes, understood.
Our band
couldn't even bother to turn up to record the podcast, let alone watch it.
Probably asleep. And yes, this podcast will hopefully be out on Tuesday, and then next podcast I'll have some new games to talk about, which I'm excited to talk about. So that's that. All right, let's end it there then. Thank you very much for watching. Do follow Monkeytail UK on Twitch. If you have any questions, or if you want to send, like Craig did, send us any suggestions for opening questions, or why don't you send it to podcast@monkeytail.co.uk. If you know me personally, you can send me a text. That's fine as well. And I will see you next time. Have a good one.